Tell me turn it down, say no. Tell me not to play what I got to say. When you tell me not to play, I say no. I want a job, bum, 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 bum. I want a job, bum, 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 bum. All I got to say when you tell me not to play, I say no. I want to work. All I got to say time and time again when you tell me not to play, I say no. I want to work. Anyways, well, I very recently, discovered that Twisted Metal sort of originates from those 1980s music videos, Twisted Sister. Kind of like the word cyst, like a twisted cyst. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, so here's Don Jaffe, aka King David's YouTube channel. So he's most well known for Kratos games, aka God of War, PlayStation 2, through PlayStation whatever, you know. So his games. He started as a Super Nintendo game tester. A game tester in the 90s was sort of like being like a stamp labor or something from the 1970s. I don't know what that means. Anyways, I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, so he went rogue and started developing games and premiered some of the earliest, greatest hits of PlayStation 1. Twisted Metal is the longest running PlayStation only exclusive. So I don't know what the first cross-platform game that was on Xbox and PlayStation was. Last week I learned that the word Xbox I've known for a while is Direct Xbox, is just a program on Microsoft. In 1995, with Windows 95, it wasn't a sure thing that Microsoft and they would have a gaming studio, gaming division. Were these going to be professional work computers for people at an office compared to maybe say Apple computers with the Macintosh in the 80s? They were not only at offices, but or at schools across the world. They had educational video games. Anyway, so they developed DirectX, and the guy who runs Steam is one of probably the most well-known figure in video games besides Felix Kajempelberg, Fix-It Felix, aka PewDiePie, and everyone else, video game streamers and content creators and stuff. So what? I don't know. There's a new like daytime show. It's hopefully going to be like every daytime show over here at Don Jaffe's YouTube channel. Just listening to this old song that I was watching the award ceremony last year when Lorne Michaels from SNL was accepting Saturday Night Live. They had a big banner that said Saturday Night Live, and you could only see part of the word. It said turd. And I'm like, what? And he said, I've seen better. And it reminded me of this old song from that 90s song. And he says in the song, crank it up to 11. And that's referencing, it packed a whole lot of things, like the band 311. Apparently there's a band 112 in the 90s. I'll have to check that out. And then there's this scene in Spinal Tap, fake mockumentary from the 80s. I thought it was a real band growing up until I finally saw the documentary. And, they have the song like, give me some money. And that is most likely referencing the late 70s song, I Want Money, Flying Lizard People Band. it sounds to me like the first rap song. Flying Lizard's Money, That's What I Want, Pop, 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 plus Blondie's Rapture song are the two songs, in my opinion, that created rap outside of Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight in the late 70s. Of course, that bass line is from Good Times song, just the bass line sampled. Anyways, so crank it up to 11. What he said in yesterday's show, this was just going to be a brief update of, I'm not going to make a video before it starts. 34 waiting, it starts at 11:30, that's 8 minutes from now. So anyways, he said something about the internet latency speed, everyone turn your internet latency speed, and so I started typing out the lyrics of I Wanna Rock, like, all I got to say when you tell me not to turn it down, I'll say no, crank it up to 11, let's go. And I'm referencing this Better Days song, and oh no, I thought it crashed. It looked like it had crashed. I don't know what's happening. That was my palm. What I'm going to do is, well, I can't now. I was just going to share a link and show how quickly. I really think that my phone's going to crash. It was already sluggish to go when I started this. Is it possible to hear? I pulled it down my microphone. I'm adjusting it. On Blog Talk Radio, I discovered Kings in the Morning through a documentary behind the scenes of Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, record label, Death Row Records. When I hear Death Row Records now mentioned in songs, I think of Jaffe, who runs Mob Entertainment Group YouTube channel. What's so funny is what Jeff's doing is he took the picture of Mafia 2 on PlayStation or Mafia 1, like, of the disc, cover of the disc, and he uses that as his avatar. And all these like old guys who are in the Italian mob culture don't realize that it's a video game. But I don't know, he's funny. Anyways, so what? I don't know what. The two podcasts that I think have most shaped my have had an impact on how I make videos is Jack O'Brien's Daily Zeitgeist. Of course, he's the guy who made Match.com magazine, a website, and I've been following that for a long time. The tagline is the only comedy site on the internet, and that's how I see it. I feel almost like a teenager used to mess around with Newgrounds.com. I've heard that was another one. No idea. David Wong, aka Jason Pargin, aka David Wong, is his screen name, had a huge impact on how I think. When I was in college, they were talking about how, like, barista is created just because there's not there's like all these jobs are just meaningless jobs. There's David, professor of not sociology but something like that. It's really I don't know, just looking elsewhere outside of college. Like, Unity is a game engine, how people make, it's the bones behind the game, and as Don Jaffe said about Twisted Metal, the bones are very brittle because it was made for PlayStation 1. And anyways, so that's here, the Zeitgeist. Jack O'Brien, Jason Pargin, they used to have this certain tone when they raise their voice like this, like they're asking a question but they're not asking a question, and it is taken over everywhere. I hear it on the news, on TV, just the way that they talk is so funny. And when Jason Pargin would talk about video games, I didn't realize he must be a follower of Don Jaffe. And anyways, Cracked.com has restarted their YouTube channel with the new guy, and he's good. After years of nothing, they had shut everything down, and I don't know. So also Jay King is a band leader of Club Nouveau 80s band, music, and its early foundations. And now he, for 15 years now, has run Kings in the Morning radio show. And it used to be very difficult to keep track of the show every Monday through Friday, and that was on Blonde Talk Radio. Now with this Google Podcast app, I can watch it at 2 times speed. So here's what I was going to tune into. I used to watch it on TuneIn because Blog Talk Radio is just, it doesn't work very good. Anyway, so I called into the show one time, and so I was in engineering school, and one of my mentors at the time, for probably 10 years at that point, I was following Jeffrey Allen III, one of his main students. I mean, I followed his stuff more than almost anyone else. And, he, like Tyler Durden, aka Owen Cook, is a student of mystery, Eric Von Mark in the pickup community, student of Ross Jeffries, wrote How to Get the Women You Want. It's the funniest still going on today. So I was with Jay King, and I was astounded at how he had a radio show with not like celebrities, but just his childhood friends and guys he went to school with growing up in California. And I was just like, I felt like a part of it after just a few episodes. And so I was calling in, and he brought on one of my teacher, who is Rosebud Bitterdose, or John Dixon, aka Rosebud Bitterdose, and we were talking over the phone, and I was like, you know what? You're over here talking about integrity and how important it is to have integrity, and I went to school. I'm college educated. You guys aren't college educated. I don't know when. It was in like 2015, and fast forward a couple of years later, of course he wrote American Pimp, the book, and DVD that was turned into the character Rosebud in Mike Judge Idiocracy movie, 2006. And so he's kind of like the distinguished gentleman character in movie with Eddie Murphy. That's kind of like the Godfather of the 90s, is Distinguished Gentleman. And anyway, so he made Sidewalk University on YouTube just for that. I was calling in to them. I was like, you guys aren't college educated. I'm in college. I know I can explain what integrity is. You don't have any idea. And it's so funny that a couple of years later he started this. I find out he started Integrity University YouTube channel, and it's like it has everything. It has dean, professors, just like any normal university. He started this virtual one, and then of course South Park has integrity stuff, and man, it's just so funny. And so I'm waiting on his response to what happened at the Oscars. The last video he made was 5 days ago, John Dixon, and I don't know. So definitely check out Kings in the Morning. And I've watched The Daily Zeitgeist with Jack O'Brien, and wow, I can't think of it. I used to watch it every day. And so the thing is that, like, when I'm doing work, whether it be working for Uber, I shouldn't say Uber, I don't know, just working and making deliveries, it's easy to have a podcast as like the companion on the road. It's much better than being a taxi driver.